Welcome, guys, to yet another video game podcast. We are the Gamers Roundtable, where we talk about video games. This is episode, I don't know, 44. We're already 44. We're getting up there. I keep losing track. But again, we're gamers that talk about games, and today we're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite weapons. So we'll be discussing that after we go over some gaming news, some things that have happened in the industry. After E3, it got a little slow, so that segment may be a little shorter. But we're going to go down the line and say hello to everybody that we have here today. We got a full house, so we're going to start at the other end and say hello to Charles. Charles, how you doing today?
Still at the front of the alphabet, apparently. Hi.
You jerk. And next to him, we got Manny. Manny's away doing something, some errands or something, so he'll join us in a few. So next to him, since we got the letter E, we got Eric. Hello, Eric.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Pleasure to see.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
And once again, we got our newcomers. They've got their own screens this time, though, so they don't have to cram on the same couch and fight over that warm spot. We got Sarah. Hello, Sarah.
We actually broke up. No, not actually, but hi, everyone.
Awkward. And of course, next to Sarah, we have Zachary.
What up, guys? Yeah, if anybody was going to break up with anybody, it'd be me breaking up with her. So that's what you guys are taking on me there. Love you.
And it looks like Manny is joined us maybe at this point. Hello, Manny.
Hello.
Hello. Now, do you have a headset on? I can't. Oh, maybe it's just blurry. Okay, your ninja hood is hiding it. That's where I missed it. Cool. And down to me, I myself am Leaf X, the host of the show here. So I'm going to try to keep people in line if I can stay in line myself. But we're going to go down the line, do something we haven't done in a while, and ask some of our newcomers what games they've been playing this week. So we're going to start off with Zach, because most of us, I think, have been playing Dead Space, which is our game club this week, and we're doing the last of that after this podcast, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But Zach, what have you been playing this week? Anything new and interesting?
Well, nothing really new, but Sarah and I, we had to take a trip to Montebello for Rockfest, so I had a lot of travel time. So I brought my Vita with me and finished up Persona 4 Golden finally. Wicked game. If anybody has played any of the Personas and hasn't played that one yet, go for it. It's wicked. Really well done. Plotline's great. Yeah, battle system's great. Finished that up, and then since I've been home, just back on the MMO game, playing some Final Fantasy 14 and being a loser and not socializing with anybody.
That's what it's all about, though, right?
Wait a bit.
Pretty much.
All right, Sarah, what have you been playing? Did you bring any portable games up with you?
Yeah, I have. I played Luigi's Mansion. At noon on my 3DS. Yeah. I was tempted to put the vacuum on my list of top 5 favorite weapons, but then I thought everyone would laugh at me.
That's all right. We expect Nintendo things from you at this point.
I have a good range this time, I think.
Mm-hmm. And you other three, Eric, Manny, and Charles, have you been playing anything besides Dead Space this week? No.
Yes.
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 Oh, okay. Let's hear it, Eric.
I've been playing FIFA 14 and NHL 14.
Of course.
I'm in such the World Cup spirit from watching that. I've been playing. I actually dusted off the old Xbox One.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I fired it up.
The old Xbox One or the real?
The old Xbox One.
It's running beautifully, and had about 2 hours of updates to do to it since I haven't turned it on in 3 months.
Really?
Yeah.
So how many more games does Xbox One have now? 2 or 3?
I think one.
I think one.
I think one possibly. I don't know. But yeah, so I've just been playing some sports games with my buddies and stuff, just messing around in between World Cup games and work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if any of you don't know, for Twitter, so I pretty much just stay home and play video games all day. So
living the dream.
Yeah.
All right. And Charles, you said you were playing something else this week as well.
Yeah, I'm still playing Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. Because that game requires completion. and I've only recently gotten the later Nintendo consoles. Um, League of Legends and Dota 2. I'm actually finding that I like Dota 2 a bit better than League of Legends.
Oh, he's making a conversion.
No, not really. Like League's still got its fun stuff. League's still got its place, but I'm liking the supporting aspect of Dota 2 a lot better because I think during one point one of my friends asked for a heal, and I was playing a hero that has a heal on a 12-second cooldown, which hits a lot of allies. So I pop that, and then I pop another item in my inventory. 6-second cooldown, applies a huge regenerative heal, and then I popped another item in my inventory, which does a massive AoE heal, and that's on like a 50-second cooldown. I think he wanted mana too, so I used my mana item, which restores a whole bunch of mana and a huge AoE on like a 50-second cooldown. Comparing this to League, the support items in League suck fucking nuts. The best heal support item they have is something that restores half as much health to one ally on a 3-minute cooldown because healing is broken. And yeah, you can't restore mana to anyone else because that would be cheating.
Whenever I hear someone talk about Dota and League of Legends, I just kind of get lost.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, the point is, like, the way that Dota works is most of your identity.
I'm assuming a cooldown is kind of like the time.
I know what
it's your timeout.
Okay.
Yeah, it's your timeout between the time that you use it the first time and the time that it's next available to be used. But cooldowns for support items are much longer.
Yeah.
And they're much less useful.
Now,
yeah,
Charles,
AoE that Eric was asking about. AoE stands for Area of Effect. It's a common term in any of those battle arena style games or MMOs. Yeah.
And yeah.
Now, question: was your sudden playing of Dota have anything to do with this prize pool for Dota 2?
Oh my god!
If you guys haven't seen it, here it is on my phone. But that's a $9.95 million prize pool for Dota 2's international tournament in July.
That's almost enough for me to buy the compendium. That is almost enough for me to buy the compendium because they are so close to 10 million that it would be a shame if they didn't reach it.
I know.
There's an item. There's an item in. I don't know if they give 25% of the proceeds or 75% of the proceeds, but it's one of those two numbers. So you buy this $10 item, you get a whole bunch of collectible things that you can collect. You get ridiculous bonuses for cosmetic things, and you just get extra items. It's a really nice bonus to have, and it helps you keep track of the world.
It's a cool way to do it, and honestly,
like it's a way to reward the player as well as to bump up this prize pool.
Valve is on it when it comes to esports. They have a handle on how esports should be done, and they're doing it right. And I like it because
I think I'm not sure if it's Valve or Frozen Frog
that's doing it. Well, it's the fact that it's that whoever's doing it is doing it right.
Yeah.
It's such a great way to get everybody involved in the esports because everyone wants to, and it's a great way for everyone to get more involved into an esport of whatever game that they want to play. Sweet.
Apparently heals aren't fun.
For myself, I actually picked up Tamagotchi Life for the 3DS. If you guys don't know, it's the game it's not really a game as much of it is. It's almost kind of like Sims in a way. You import your Miis from your 3DS into the game, and then each of the Miis get a personality, and then they live their lives out in this world, and you can give them items, favorite foods, and stuff like that. But you just kind of watch them do stuff and help them with their problems. So it's interesting, especially to see Miis based off of my friends doing ridiculous things. And other than that, Dead Space. So for anybody watching too, make sure Pecan the side knows to ask questions. We have a Q&A, live Q&A going on, so feel free to ask us questions. We'll answer them as soon as we get the second to stop our discussion and take a look at those there. So I think at this point we'll move on to our news pieces. So if you guys have any, feel free to bring them up. I'll go over mine first and then ask you guys if you have any news pieces. But the things that have caught my interest over the past week, it hasn't been much. As we know, E3 just passed, so a lot of the news is slowed down. All the game companies got all their stuff out during the past week there and the week preceding that.
Or if you're Microsoft the week beforehand.
And so yeah, the ones that caught my eyes. First up, back onto we know patent trolling is huge in the mobile industry when it comes to mobile iPhones and that. But Philips has recently taken it upon themselves to file a patent lawsuit against Nintendo for the Wii and the Wii U based off the Motion Plus. I guess their patent was an aiming device or pointing a device at a screen to aim, and that's the patent that they had. And surprisingly, they won the lawsuit, and now they're demanding that the Wii and the Wii U be banned for sale in the U.S.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
and what really strikes me about that is it's Philips. It's not like they have an active video game system at the moment or have any plans to, as far as we know, to enter into it. So it seems so ridiculous to try to make a claim or like an action like that. It's ridiculous.
They're taking on a giant right now. Like, Nintendo is a giant. So
Yeah,
even
No, Philips is bigger than Nintendo.
No, but regardless, though, even it's not in terms of necessarily like pound for pound. They're still a giant company.
Oh,
And-
it's in terms of financials, though, when you go into a lawsuit like that. Philips wipes the floor with it. Absolutely
But
destroyed.
and these patent wars of patent trolls, giants don't matter. They really
Yeah.
don't. I mean, it just a week ago, a patent troll nobody holding company won a lawsuit against both Microsoft in the past, but most recently against Apple, where they're now entitled to 1% of all iPhone sales, and they won $300 million, and they're nobody. They don't make anything. It's a lot of it has to do with the patent system being broken, and a lot of these suits going to this this outer part of Texas, like maybe it was Lubbock, Texas, or something, where they do all these patent suits, and there's friendly juries and friendly judges.
What's the piece of hardware that Philips is claiming?
It doesn't even matter. I mean, not to
Yeah.
cut you off, Brody, but it doesn't even really matter. The patent system is so broken that you can say a device for pointing at screen literally, and that's it, and you can be
Well,
awarded
that's what
the
they
patent
said.
and you support it. It doesn't matter if they're making stuff. It doesn't matter if they actually have proven this stuff works. It doesn't matter if it's just a software patent. Fundamentally, the patent system is broken, and stuff like this happens all the time. We just don't always hear about it. I think we're hearing about it because it's a video game story related, but this happens constantly. Nintendo is constantly being sued by patent trolls. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose.
And that was kind of more my point, is that it's as I said, it does happen a lot. I was referring mostly to the phone industry, but the fact that it's a company that has nothing to do with gaming is starting to do it here. I'm hoping we don't see this start happening more often. This could be
all the time, Brody. This is nonstop.
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
Rarely does this affect something as specific to us gamers as the Wii and Wii U, but this is always happening constantly, and it's a disaster.
And that's what I meant too by like in terms of Nintendo being a giant in the sense is like they're not going to be able to stop them from selling systems. What they're doing is they're asking for, it's just the way the legal system works. They're asking for the highest
You're wrong
possible
about that
thing.
one, because they can stop them from selling
Yes, they
it.
can.
They absolutely 100% can.
I don't think it's going to happen.
That's a
Yeah, the
different argument than
likelihood
if they can.
is
Yeah,
small, but
it can happen, but because you look at Apple and Samsung had something like that before too.
And don't think that it won't happen, because the United States can be awfully protectionist, and they have in the past, and they will continue to do so, ban import of certain devices from overseas and not think twice about it.
Now, could Nintendo just get around this simply by manufacturing the device in America?
No,
'Cause it's just the import that's being banned, right?
There was a recently, like a week or two ago, there was a big Supreme Court decision about patent cases. That's this big old. Did you guys see this one? It was a big Supreme Court decision. That's sort of like the first good sign. It was like a 9-0 decision, where you can't just patent something because now it can be done on a computer, or you can't patent an idea.
Yeah.
Just like, hey,
Abstract
what if
ideas.
I can't find the exact court case, but it was a big deal. But of course, it doesn't really help that case because it was already in the works.
Yeah, it's okay. So it's Philips has requested a jury trial to seek damages and also asked the courts to order a ban on the import and sale of both a Nintendo
Both.
console.
So that means they can't even manufacture it in the U.S. and sell it in the U.S.
I was gonna say that could be a way around it, but nope.
I think the bigger thing that would happen is that because Nintendo's so high profile, that more people are going to stand up and saying, this is absolutely ridiculous. We need to make more changes. I mean, nobody pays attention when it's like Philips to some startup who's going to change the world with,
Yeah, and I think that's kind of want to bring it up is just because it is a larger, as you said, larger profile company, and more could come of this. And I'm hoping, as you said, people will start saying, hey, we need to fix this crap right now.
It's starting to happen. It's starting. I mean, those recent Supreme Court decisions were a good sign.
Yeah. No, there's some good happening, but we still obviously have a lot of progress to make. But so that's happening, and that happens. We'll see what comes of that ban request. I feel like Philips just wants Nintendo to turn around and say, here, we'll just give you a percentage of the sales.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
exactly what I think is going to happen. That was my point earlier, is that they're coming out with guns blazing, and then Nintendo's going to be like, whoa, hold up, all right, we'll give you some money. How about that? And they're going to be like, okay, cool.
Hopefully they won't, though. Hopefully they'll fight it a lot more than
Stand their
that.
ground. Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll be willing to spend more money on fighting it than just handing over some money. The next thing on my my list here was just I found there's a list that came out that has the top 100 countries in 2014 for game revenue in the industry, and I just want to just point out, it was interesting. If you guys want the list, I'm going to share it with you guys so you can look at all of them. But in the top 5 places relevant to us is USA is in first place, of course, with 20 billion. China 17 billion. Japan 12 billion. Germany with 3 billion. It's quite a jump there. And the UK with the exact same as Germany, actually. And then Canada, us lovely Canadians, are way down at 1.7 billion in 8th place. For game revenue.
Not even 1.7 billion of us here.
So it's there's a few of us that spend a lot of money. But yeah, it's I just thought it was interesting, so I'll share it with you. There's some more info on here as well too. But the next one I saw was just a kind of ironic, funny thing. The Ubisoft actually made a statement the other day that basically said DRM can't stop piracy, which was I thought kind of ironic, since for a while there they had some pretty insane DRM policies.
That's probably how they found out.
Oh, that's true. More people want it. So basically what they said is quote unquote then. Here is what becomes key for us is making sure we're delivering an experience to paying players that is quality. I don't want us in a position where we're punishing a paying player for what a pirate can get around. Anything is going to be able to be pirated given enough time and enough effort to get it there. So the question becomes, what do we create as services or as benefits and the quality of the game that will have people want to pay for it? So basically, more online.
You have to attribute that to somebody, though, Brody. You can't just say Ubisoft as a whole said that.
Oh, sorry. The guy that said it was Ubisoft VP of Digital Publishing, Chris Early.
I'll believe him. When he starts releasing things that are DRM free, or the PC version of stuff works if you can't log into their crappy Ubisoft network.
Well, yeah, and that's why it was funny when he says.
Well, I mean, if you want the Ubisoft network to work, just move to Canada.
Exactly. That's the solution. It was just funny, when he said, what do we create as services that will have people want to pay for it?
Let me guess, the comments were one that works.
Yeah, no, not Uplay. But, I mean, at least they're saying this, because then there's some sort of, something we can hold to them.
Talk is cheap.
Yeah, well, it is. It's at least it's acknowledged, and that's the first step, you know.
All right, fair enough.
Admittance, right? So
But they got to deliver now, right?
yeah, it's that's the next. Um,
You know what
and
I love about the Witcher people? They were never about the talk. They always did first.
they just did, and then
then-
just did, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I think CD Projekt Red's you know, in that sense always held the highest regards when it comes to DRM policies. And the last two on this one was just about Destiny coming out, and how it's actually going to be the most expensive game in development costs and marketing, with a $500 million price tag on it, which is $200 million over what GTA 5 was. And I find it kind of funny that that includes marketing too, because I feel like a lot of that then went into the development, because when it comes to marketing, I don't think they did, or at least they spent a lot of money and didn't do a good enough job, because until recently, I didn't even really realize what Destiny was. When they first showed it off, I'm like, oh, it just looks like Borderlands, Halo, whatever. And then when I realized that it was an RPG, open world kind of, it grabbed my interest more. But it's insane how high these prices for games are getting. I think the highest costing movie of all time was about $300 million, and games are hitting $500 million mark now. It's unreal.
Well, games make more money though than movies do now. The video game industry is like the top grossing entertainment industry in North America. That's just numbers, right? Like it's just fact.
Yeah.
It depends on the game and the movie, though, because the Avengers, nothing beats the Avengers or stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking about it like the industry as a whole, right? Like if you take the two industries as a whole, like yes, Avengers did sell more than anything, but like the film industry right now is in the dumps.
It depends. I think the film industry is just like the mainstream game industry. It's very hit driven. It's it's very lowest common denominator, the biggest thing possible.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I was interesting.
And I'll see, like when it comes to the marketing thing, like having a marketing background and stuff, like I think we'll see a lot more of that closer to like release. Like there'll like commercials everywhere, like banners, like everywhere. Like I mean, that's just you don't want you want it to be top of mind awareness, right? So you don't want to do a huge, heavy marketing campaign. When's the release date of that? Is there one out yet?
September.
Sorry.
September. So give it like next month, August. You want it top of mind awareness. If they start doing it now and they start hitting it heavy now, like people are going to be like, great, another friggin' Destiny banner. Yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the way the marketing industry works.
I know 500 million sounds like a lot, but in terms of but a lot of that is marketing money, and marketing money goes quickly because you buy a few pre-rolls before you buy a few pre-rolls before in a few movie theaters. You buy billboards across the country. You get commercials, and you're quickly already getting to the $100 million range. Then if you want to do online stuff and blah blah blah.
Sorry,
and
you mentioned there
rolls around
before movie theaters. I've never seen a game trailer before a movie.
Huh?
Do they do that?
All the time.
I don't think I've ever seen a game trailer before a movie.
All the time, even for like some of the weirdest games too. Like I think before I saw that shitty Last Samurai movie.
Where is that?
They show I think the Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles commercial. They've been doing it for years.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just an American thing then, because any theater I've been to here, never seen that.
Well, we got to remember though, like it's like more people in the Southland of California than there are in all of Canada, so it benefits us to have a movie theater, like one of the big movie theaters at like the Hollywood City Walk, where it's a tourist attraction.
It's just a different concept for me. I never really thought of someone.
But
ever
those
doing
are expensive, and
Well, I can imagine running it before each time too. And then the last one was just for any PS Plus owners out there. I just wanted to let you guys know what's coming in on the 2nd of July. Some sweet games. Actually, this is kind of perfect. Dead Space 3 will be coming for PS Plus owners. This kind of works since we just finished Dead Space 2, so I'll be be able
We're
to.
not playing Dead Space 3.
I was gonna say, Charles, aren't you excited?
I'll be able. Yeah.
Oh my
I'll
god,
be able
Charles!
to
If you
jump
hated
into it.
From Mission, if you hated Dead Space 2, I can't even imagine what you would think of Dead Space
Well,
3.
okay. No, I'll explain later this evening.
I like them both. I mean, coming from the opposite end, we're not playing 2, but playing 3. I think 2 is definitely superior, but 3 is enjoyable. I mean, 3 is a really good game.
But you could understand where I'm coming from, Eric. And like
Yeah.
going the reverse, it's like a drop in quality. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's just like there's some things from 3, like the weapon combination.
Yeah,
system.
I understand why you're having trouble now because you want some
Yeah.
more flexibility in what you're doing. I get you.
Right.
Yeah. So also coming out, we have. Isn't this the game that was supposed to be for the Ouya? We have Towerfall.
Yeah. No, it wasn't for the Ouya. It was released on the Ouya, and people said, if you have an Ouya, this is the game to get.
Well, Towerfall Ascension is going to be on PS Plus then for free download there.
So translation: never buy an Ouya.
Pretty much. We have Strider, Vessel, and then also Doki Doki Universe, and Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes.
Cool. If you're going to be doing that, in that case, for our Xbox-minded people in the
Yeah, go
audience,
for it. Yeah.
there's also Games with Gold going on right now, and they've also expanded Games with Gold to the Xbox One. So I think right now on Xbox 3, well, the good thing about the Games with Gold on Xbox 360 is that even if you cancel your Gold service, you still get to keep the games, which is a difference with PlayStation Plus. So
Oh, and I was going to so even if you lose your Gold subscription, you still get to keep the games.
on the Xbox 360, yes. I think on the Xbox One, it's the same sort of deal as with.
It's as Plus.
Yeah.
Okay, because the Vita Plus, or sorry, Vita PS3 and PS4, if you lose subscription, you lose the games, but as soon as you get subscription again, you can play them again.
I think that's the same thing, but
okay.
on Xbox 360, they're just yours.
That's kind of cool. That's really neat.
Yeah, the gold games were really cool. I really like that about Xbox 360. When all the games that were free downloads were sweet. They did a really good job on that. I give credit where credit is due on that one.
So the first game on that, right now, we missed the first game of the month. So right now you can get Charlie Murder, I think. Charlie Murder, which is that indie rock, whatever. And you can get Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, which is normally $30. And
That's
on
nice.
Xbox One, I'm just trying to remember off the top. Someone pull it up. I'm having trouble locking it.
I'll find it for you. Games with Gold. Yeah, I didn't. It was just the first thing. I just grabbed that last second. That's why I didn't have the Gold one up. So for July 2014, on our Games of Gold list, on the Xbox One we have Loco Cycle, Zoo Tycoon, Crimson Dragon, Contrast, Peggle 2, and Forza 5. And then on the 360, we got Batman Arkham City, Spelunky, which is a good game.
Wait, is this for next month?
This is for July, yeah.
Oh, they announced July. All right, I was just telling you what's going on in. Okay, cool. Go on.
Yeah, Spelunky, Assassin's Creed 3, and The Witcher 2.
The Witcher, all of those on 360?
Yep.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Oh, maybe I grabbed the list. It's confirmed yet. I may have done that.
Because you normally only give like two, like one in the first half of the month and one in the second half.
Disregard everything I said.
All right, I'll tell you what's available
List
right
is not
now
confirmed
on
yet.
your Xbox 360. Or your
I was
Xbox.
just filling the time until you found the real list. That's what I was doing.
You can get. Okay, on your Xbox One, you can get Halo Spartan Assault, that garbage game that came out for Windows Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Max and the Curse of the Brotherhood, and then you can get Charlie Murder on 360 and Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition.
That's pretty sweet. Street Fighter.
All right.
All right. And then we'll wait for a bit until we find.
Yeah,
it comes
Major
out
Nelson
late.
usually doesn't announce that until like the day before July.
Yeah. My
All right,
bad. Yeah, so that's sweet. Sorry, has anyone ever played the Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes? It's on the PS Vita, and I want to know if I should download it and use it.
Oh, the Vita version is completely different from the console versions, though.
Oh, okay.
They removed the open world and a lot of the freedom. and it's just sort of like you go to level, you go to level, you go to level. And the open world in DC, while it was their first attempt at it, and they've certainly gotten better as they've gone along, like when they did Lego Undercover, and then they moved on to Lego Avengers, where they really got it right. It's a little rough, but it's still a lot of fun to just be able to go around Gotham and get into trouble.
True. I might have. It's free anyways. I may as well download it and then sometime in the future play it, right?
Yeah, of course, but I would hope that you would try out the big boy version.
Yeah,
Big
well,
boy version of the Lego game.
again, I haven't played a Lego game I've only ever played demos at like EB Games, and they've always been fun.
It's a very
I've
different
just never
experience.
picked up a game.
Let me put it this: if you're gonna start, I say start with Marvel superheroes. Even if you're not a Marvel fan, I'm not. That's still like their best open world, and they have the best characters, and they've refined the gameplay and the cutscenes, and they have good frame rate. Blah 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 blah. So,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
Blah blah blah. That was it for my news. I know. I think that's that. Yeah, that's it for that. I kind of stole Sarah's there. I didn't even realize it was just on the list, and I stole
Yeah,
it.
man.
Sarah,
You gotta be respectful.
Sarah's was the one with the top revenue. Sorry, I was just kind of in robot mode and reading news. So thanks to
Sorry
Sarah for
about it.
finding that one for us.
I got a quick one if you want.
All right, go.
Banner Saga is coming to tablets. That's pretty cool.
Banner Saga. I've never
It's
played it.
on sale on Steam right now too.
That's the really beautiful hand-drawn sort of Norse strategy RPG. Remember Kickstarter game? Nobody remembers.
Remember King.com tried to sue them or something like that?
Because they had Saga in their name.
Yeah.
I think
Only
we
you,
had
Charles. Just you and me.
Yeah, we're the only people who know about it. I don't know the game. I'm the worst.
It's really well received, and it's cool that it's coming to tablets.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear it's a really good game. People were really excited for it to go on sale, and I don't know anything about it.
Okay, I got one for you. I think this is popping out of Google I/O. So everyone knows Razer, the accessory company.
Yep.
They're jumping in on the micro console war. Another competitor for Ouya, the Apple TV, and the Amazon Fire TV, and it's going to be built on the Android TV platform. So I guess you can download Android games and play them on your whatever.
Okay. Play them on whatever.
Sorry, I actually repeat that for slow people like me. I actually missed the first half of your sentence there.
Okay, Razer micro console built on the Android TV platform. Imagine the Kindle Fire TV and the Apple TV, but it plays games and it's from Razer and it's open. It's using the Android TV stuff they know.
That's actually really sick.
So you have even less of a reason now to buy an Ouya.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Basically, if you've ever had a reason to buy an Ouya, you will never have a reason again.
I don't know if anybody really had a reason to buy one except for the fact that it was new. And now
People got
that's
really
gone.
excited about that on Kickstarter, though. It got so much money.
I think it's because they dreamed about what it could be instead of realizing what it was going to be. And they had so much more ambition for it.
Man, Brody, that's like the story of Kickstarter in a nutshell.
Yeah,
That's it.
And that's why I don't think I've ever backed a Kickstarter funding yet, just because I've seen what happens.
Every time, people say, oh, this game sounds amazing. This is the first game from the small development team, and then you get disappointed when what they release is someone's first game.
Yeah. I know it's. I haven't found anything to back yet, so.
To be fair, though, some of the bigger stuff that I've seen, at E3, Pillars of Eternity, or even just how Wasteland 2 is coming up, is, of course, those aren't those people's first games, not by a long shot,
The only one I ever thought about backing was Star Citizen, but then I realized he already has more than enough freaking money.
No, he doesn't. He needs to get the $100 million so he can properly simulate the universe.
Meanwhile, No Man's Sky is already on that.
Yeah, but can you go inside the capital ships? No, man, it's totally different.
I don't know. I was looking at buying it just to have a guarantee of the game. I mean, I can get the game anyways. It's digital, but that was the only one I was ever.
Those digital copies.
Run out. Hey, I've seen that happen.
There's only 70 CD keys that they can distribute. Once they run out, they're out.
Yep.
Forever.
Our digital supply. What do we do? Yeah, that's it for our news. Then, is there anybody else have any bit of news before we move on to our lists here? Yeah, no. Looks like a no. All right.
Good. Now let's criticize everyone's choices. So
Yes,
much more fun.
I think it's about time we move on to our where we make fun of each other and say that weapon sucks, because this is our top 5 favorite weapons in video games throughout all life and time and history and existence.
All right. I'm glad you said that, Brody.
Yes.
Because I have a little thing to add on to that, though. Because I think this is an interesting topic and a little bit more difficult than we gave it credit for.
I know. I'm not going to lie. When I started thinking about this stuff, I'm like, you know what? This could be a lot of things. And
yeah, like a weapon can go all the way from a rock to an orbiting space station that destroys planets. You know, it can be a sword, or on your waist, or it can be a tank that you jump into. You know.
Yep. And
it is like everything and anything that kills people.
If the rest of you guys didn't pick Yamato Cannon 5 times, then I don't know.
All right.
150 energy.
Well, I think what we're gonna do is go down the line, do our go in line. We'll do one each, make fun of each other, high five each other, whatever we do, and then start back at the other end and go to our next one. So we're gonna start at the other end here. I'm gonna start with Sarah, just because I feel like such a jerk for taking her thing here. Sarah, can you give us your first on your list of your favorite video game weapon?
So, like, number 1, my favorite?
Oh, no.
Save that for last.
Amateur, fire her. She's out of here.
Okay. I was going to say, that's no fun. So my first one's actually really pretty basic. I would pick the chainsaw gun from Gears of War. Because, well, no, I'm bad at shooter games, so I really like that when they get close to me, I'm like, oh, crap, and I can just chainsaw them. Sweet.
And then you get killed as the guy stabs you from behind. Well,
you spin around with the chainsaw. Don't you
can't. What's your chainsaws? In him.
Yeah. Why isn't that a move in Gears of War, or is it? Can you just spin around with the gun out extended on your arm and just like tornado?
No. You gotta rev it up and then you walk around like this.
Oh, I think it'd be sick. Just get a handle, just two-hand it, and spin around like a lawnmower in the air and just chop people.
That game would be so much easier. Screw long range engagement. I'm just gonna like helicopter twirl everywhere.
Tornado.
It becomes a very different game, doesn't it? Like Vanquish or something. Just a little chainsaw hands.
Little tweak. One little tweak and it.
All right. So everyone cool with that choice? Everyone yays and nays it? No yays, no nays.
Basic.
Everyone's no,
all
it's
right.
a little too obvious. It seems like
It gets better, guys. It gets better.
It gets better. That was your fifth.
list.
Yeah, so give her some slack. It wasn't
Number 10 on the BuzzFeed list.
All right, Zach, hit us with your number 5 slot.
Number 5, just for the memories associated with it, I'm going to go with the knife from Counter-Strike. Just I remember playing online, and when you hear that sharp knife sound, you instantly just, whatever you're doing, you dropped everything, you pulled out your knife, and you're ready for a knife fight. And
I'm
you
gonna
scan
have
it.
Kind of agree that is a good choice, because on in any game now, a lot of times you go into pubs on 1.6, or you even got on GO. It's as soon as you see like a couple people with their knives out, I've seen people just put their weapons away and pull their knives out, and everybody's just knife fight. You respect the knife, and everybody respects the knife.
It was like, I don't know, for me at least, it was like the grandfather to like those unspoken rules of like video games, like playing online. Like, you see somebody with a knife, you hear that sound, it's like, you could be an asshole and shotgun them in the head, or you do the responsible thing, the honorable thing, and you pull out your knife and you fight it out.
You do the responsible thing and you cut them with a knife.
Exactly. It's like when I play Street Fighter, right? Like, even though like a lot of people get cheap with it, it's like that unspoken rule, like 3 hits in the corner, back off, let the guy out, because it's, any game, a guy running at you with a knife is going to be super easy. If you have a shotgun, same with Street Fighter, you keep him in the corner, it's that much easier, right? It's just like an unspoken rule. I like that about it. It just gives me good memories. Makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside, cutting people's faces open with knives.
Yeah, and for anybody that hasn't played Counter-Strike, it's entirely true. It's you do that in Call of Duty, you pull out your knife, everyone's going to shoot you. But in this, as soon as you see a knife out, it does happen. Everyone will start. It becomes a knife lobby. It is entirely true. All All right, on to the next one. And viewers as well, make sure you either leave in a comment on YouTube or in the Q&A session what your favorite video game weapons are too, as well as we go through this, and I'll call them out as we go through.
And we can judge you.
And we will judge you.
I didn't actually have anybody like try to crucify me that time. That was awesome. That's
Because you
sweet.
went for Counter-Strike. Everyone loves Counter-Strike.
No,
I've
I
never
don't
played
like Counter-Strike. But
Yeah,
it was
I
a
don't-
deep cut.
Yes,
It was
it's
a really
crazy.
deep cut, so I respect it.
Yeah, I see what you did there. All right.
Ching.
Moving down, we got Eric. Eric, give us your fifth weapon on your list there.
My fifth choice was the the golden gun from GoldenEye.
Nice. Good call.
Nice. That's fair enough. I don't know if anybody wants to dispute that. That was just a
Yeah, that was just
one shot, one kill.
pretty much legendary. You know, when multiplayer when that platform of shooters, started to be released. I mean, GoldenEye was so revolutionary in so many different ways. And that gun, I mean, along with obviously rocket launchers and
Proximity mines.
Yeah, playing proximity mines in the temple and shit like that. The complex, that was always a good spot. Just a lot of good memories with that gun, and it was fun because you knew it was like, oh shit, we're playing Golden Gun,
Yep.
The minute even if you just had the golden gun in a multiplayer game, like the minute one of your friends got that golden gun, the three of you turn on him. Like that's it.
Yep.
Like
It's
your
like
goal
you're
is to
done.
kill that guy. Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. And again, Manny, how you were saying that weapons can be anything. I think I'm saying her name wrong every time. Pican. She Pican. At the side, she said Banelings from StarCraft. It's really think that is, I guess, your entire army is a weapon, right?
If you're Kerrigan controlling your swarm directly, I would say yes.
All right. Well, that's her choice there. Now we're gonna move on to your choice, Manny. What's the fifth on your
Go
list there?
first, man. Come on, don't try to.
No, we're going down the line. We're being fair.
Fair.
This is fair.
Yeah, despite the fact that you took Sarah before Zach. Alphabet.
Well, I had to be nice.
He owed me one.
Exactly. So, all right. We'll do Charles. Charles.
I'll take the bullet, but Manny, you're going next. Saber turret from Borderlands 2, and this is going to be the only item on my list that is directly a weapon.
All right. I don't know that weapon.
Contrarian, man.
The reason for that one, because the saber turret can be modded in different ways depending on your skills, so it could be used for different roles in combat. So you can mod it with the shield, so it has fortified shield, so you don't take damage. You have safe zones. You can zone combat in Borderlands, or you can mod it to have missiles, so it does heavy AOE damage as opposed to doing single target damage. Stuff like that. You can just build this weapon to do what you need it to do.
That's pretty sweet.
It's true.
I can't dispute or anything about that because I haven't really played through that game at all. Manny, then do you want to go next, or are you gonna make me go first?
Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, so because video game weapons can be anything, and really, if I was gonna get into this whole thing where I'm picking like, oh, clearly this tank from this blah blah blah, or no, my favorite airplane from. So I said, no, I'll keep it simple. I'll pick a theme, and I'll go with something that you guys all chose, which is basically handheld weapons, right?
Hey, if you want to
or just stuff that you can directly call. We need to use this weapon. So I kept it simple, but I also give a little twist, and I picked nothing but energy weapons. All energy weapons.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so the first one on my list is the lightsaber, but not just the lightsaber from Star Wars, period, because I think there have been some shitty implementations of it. I think the Knights of the Old Republic lightsaber in particular, because that lightsaber is moddable. You have a lot of choice in both the skills you use to wield this lightsaber, how you modify it with the various crystals. You can choose. Well, do I want this crystal? Do I want the double-bladed hilt with this crystal and this? Do I go twin lightsabers and put this crystal in so you get the abilities with this one and it meshes well with this lightsaber crystal? So And of course it's a lightsaber and it's fun and it's great to take on lots of enemies with that, and you can reflect energy. What you can deflect other laser blasts and energy weapon blasts, and you can hold off against a lightsaber, another lightsaber. But the fact that you have so much flexibility in how you use it and how you build it, and all around just sort of denotes that you've become a Jedi in this universe, and it's really cool. So Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 lightsaber.
Yeah, I expected a lightsaber to be on there at some point, but I couldn't do it myself as I've never really played any Star Wars games, so I couldn't make the judgments like you did.
Oh, you cut off your buddy over there.
Sorry?
So someone else was saying something?
Oh, I was just saying good call.
Cool.
Cool. He's like, yeah.
I agree.
Alrighty, I guess that leaves me now for my first on my list here. My numbers. I have a couple runners up. I want to just throw out after as well too. But I have to say my fifth spot is probably has to be. I kind of messed it up here. The energy sword. I kind of follow the energy from Halo. I know it's just a sword, but it's an energy sword, and it was so OP just being able to fly in there and take someone out. Everyone always run for the energy sword to get a hold of that. It was a sword that trumped a gun. Like that's pretty impressive if a sword trumps a gun in a gun-based game. So that was my fifth, just because I thought it was fun to play with. It made the game super fun, and that's why I picked that one.
Brody, that was going to be my fifth choice, like standard option. So I'm glad you took it.
All right. I guess we'll hop back to the start of our line with at a line here. Sarah, if you want to give us the next on yours.
Yeah, so mine is just like a fond memory weapon. So it's from 007 Nightfire, which is a PS2 game, and they have a guided missile. And so you actually get to be the missile and go and find your friends when you're playing multiplayer and just destroy them. It's the best. And I had so much fun doing that when I was growing up. So that has to be my number 4.
There was a weapon like that also in
Perfect Dark, wasn't there?
Perfect Dark, yes.
Yeah.
I had to say, that's like a common mechanic, I think. I've seen, at least when you're attached to a tow missile cable, I'm sure I've done that in several games. A lot of games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that's the game I fell in love with it for, so that's my pick.
I think that was the first iteration of it, though, that I saw in a video game.
Perfect Dark probably did it before.
No, I think Golden. Oh wait, actually, yeah, you're right. Perfect Dark was 64. Yeah, so that was 90. Yeah.
Call me crazy, but I remember distinctly that for the most part, all 007 games were garbage, right? But we didn't know better because we were young.
I don't know. I think GoldenEye was all right, but
no. I mean, outside of GoldenEye, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I never played anything but GoldenEye. I had.
Did you guys play the new one? It was awful.
They made other 007 games.
You know what's just sad? I probably played most of them, if not all of them, and yeah, they were all terrible. Was Nightfire? I could swear I played Nightfire.
It's pretty fun. There's levels where you get to be on a snowmobile and you're running through a mountain or whatever. It's a pretty varied game. Car racing, stuff like that.
You're on a big frozen lake at the end of that level, right?
Yeah, you have to shoot all the helicopters or something like that.
Yeah, that was still bad. But yeah, cool.
Oh, sorry. It was the new one was 007 GoldenEye Reloaded. So basically, it was GoldenEye Reloaded.
I played it on the Xbox. God.
And it felt like it was trying to be Call of Duty and GoldenEye at the same time, and it didn't blend at all.
Maybe I'm wrong. People seem to like the GameCube version of that game.
GameCube, yeah. I tried.
Maybe there was just nothing else on the GameCube at the time. But still,
there's something out. Yeah, so I wasn't a fan.
It's because I could be getting confused because I played at least 3 different 007 games with Pierce Brosnan in them, and I remember some of them being just absolutely terrible.
Well, so was Pierce Brosnan in the 007 movie, so it comes with the territory.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Alrighty. Up next, Zach, if you want to give us your next on your list here.
I mean, I'm obviously, people are going to realize that I'm a Persona fanboy. Persona 3, The Evoker. So if anybody hasn't played the game, It's essentially the catalyst that the characters use to summon their personas, and it's a gun, but they have to put it to their head and shoot, and then that's how they summon their personas. So really dark and really twisted, just kind of like the game is itself. And yeah, that's definitely
That's actually kind of
more for me.
interesting.
It's cool if you actually watch just even like just the cinematic aspect of it. It looks really cool, and I mean all the characters too. Like the way they do it is completely different. So like some will put it in their mouth, some will put it under their chin, and it's just kind of like goes along with their character attitude and stuff. So it's a really cool idea. I thought it was sweet. I remember seeing that for the first time and just be like, oh my god, it's so dark and cool and Japanese. So
Yeah, it shoots
You
like
made me
light
sad
on
on
the
the
other
inside.
side of this.
Made me deeply sad on the inside.
you and your
I wish I had an evoker right now to blow my brains out.
Oh,
You just-
whatever.
you just summon a persona and its power to be sulking.
You're being loose. It's more of a tool than a weapon, but okay, bro. Okay.
Sweet, yeah, that's a interesting one then, I guess. Let's move down to Eric and see what you got.
Number 4 for me. Zach is probably gonna be mad that I'm choosing this, but hopefully he's got one of his own on here. But mine's from the Mega Man series, and that's the Metal Blade upgrade. For me, that was probably one of the more fun upgrades of the series, and I think it was like in the basic, back in the basic ones, it was like I believe the first one that you could actually shoot in all like directions.
Yeah, you could like aim it and shoot it like
Yeah.
just by using the D-pad on the NES. It was revolutionary.
Right, exactly. So for me, and a lot of the enemies always seemed to have a weakness to it too. So it was pretty powerful and came in handy quite a bit. And from the series, that was probably my favorite weapon. So that's what I went with number 4 for me.
Perfect. I never really played too much of the Mega Mans. I played one on my Game Boy Color, I think it was. Yeah, Game Boy Color. I don't know which one it was though, but it was really fun. I really should have played more Mega Mans.
Good platforming, yeah.
Although Mighty Number 9 looks really good.
It's gonna be sweet. Very pumped.
All right, next up, Charles. Charles.
Yep.
Charles.
Yeah.
Charles.
Next up, grappling hook from Just Cause. You might say that that's a tool and not a weapon, but have you
It's
tried
totally a
pinning
tool,
things to
not a
people?
weapon, Charles.
Charles.
Have you tried pinning things to things? Have you tried dropping helicopters with it? No. Wait, can you actually do
cool.
that? I heard that you could, but
I guess you could.
In that case, my next choice is rope, because when I tie rope to helicopter and it crashes, it's awesome.
yeah, but if you've got like an attack chopper hitting you and you try to use your rope, it's not going to work. Use this grappling hook and it will.
You don't know how well I lasso. Don't say that.
Sure. Okay.
all in favor of Just Cause rope thing.
I'll give it a thumbs up.
It's a grappling hook. You say grappling hook, man. He
Grappling
said
hook,
rope.
All right, we got one.
Whatever.
One out of 6 thumbs up.
Sure, that's fine.
Or I guess two-
no,
I guess two
I
would
got my
count.
own, so that's 2 out of
1
6.
out of 3. 1 out of 3.
Whatever.
All right, Maddie. Tell us what your favorite weapon is.
All right, tool. What I really like is this cool pocket woodsman that I got at Target the other. Oh wait. All right, back with my energy weapon theme. I'm gonna pick something a little bit boring. I'm picking the Hammer of Dawn from the Gears of War series because it was I like that you had to build it up, and then when you did, you can sort of just trail it over some enemies, and if you timed it right, if you backed up away properly, you can just torch an entire zone. And of course, it was necessary for killing certain enemies. And it was just a cool idea of just sort of like I can't remember exactly how it worked. It was either reflect the energy from the sun or whatever, but it was just dropping this big beam and just sort of toast. It was your little personal nuke that you had to beam and sort of focus. And you weren't even really shooting the weapon per se. You were just painting a laser target on it and then having the laser drop down where you painted the target.
Sorry,
It was a little bit
called?
indirect, but it was still pretty cool.
What was it again?
The Hammer of Dawn.
Hammer.
You guys never played Gears of War?
I don't really. I played like a bit of the first two, and I just couldn't get through it. I wasn't a fan of the games. That's all. So I never really got far enough to know what that was. Oh yeah, it looks pretty destructive. I'm looking at images right now. Cool. Well, I don't have anything to say for or against that. I don't know if anybody else wants to dispute that one. But if not, we'll go to
Really,
my
Sarah's
next
not on
one.
board? You
I was
picked the
gonna say Sarah.
chainsaw gun for goodness sakes.
Nope, she's not on board. Yeah.
Then I'm going to veto everything she has to say too.
I was gonna say chainsaw gun over Hammer of Dawn.
You're gonna already veto everything I was gonna say, anyways.
that order was
Well, not
already-
everything.
was already in place. All right.
Funny,
Yeah.
funny that Sarah's been on the podcast for one episode and already knows like Manny's mantra pretty much. She's known Manny for like 12 minutes.
All right. We have number 4 for me. Kratos' Blades of Chaos. I freaking love those things. So just whipping those things out, destroying enemies hundreds by hundreds at a time. How can you not have fun with those? They're fun. Just swing. I like them so much better than any of the other weapons they gave you in any of the games, be it the gloves or whatever. The Blades of Chaos were just destructive. The fact that he had complete control over them, it was almost like art the way he swung them around and decapitated his enemies. It was a beautiful thing. The Blades of Chaos definitely for me. They're beautifully designed as well too in the way they just sit on his back. Menacing but graceful at the same time. Blades of Chaos. No, does anybody else play God of War?
Mm-mm.
Keep your bro weapons to yourself.
All right.
Manny, what you
fine.
need to do, we need to, like, after this is all done, we just need to have Manny do, like, a commentary just over everything. Everything he says is golden.
Yeah. Manny would be perfect in like a Mystery Science Theater 2000 show.
That's
I would
awesome.
totally I would watch that for sure.
I just watch Let's Play YouTube videos like he should have gone to the left.
Yeah.
What a dumbass.
Let's Play YouTube videos, like, they
Really.
irk me quite a bit when it's something that I've like seen solved before, or something where
Yeah.
like the game logic dictates that you should do this thing, but then they're just like, I don't know what I should do next. It's just like, you need to go left. Like yelling at the screen.
Piken wants to throw in her number 4 for us. She says, I'm going to say this wrong because I don't know this weapon. But AR Tonalika or R Tonalika? Tonalico?
Kind of assault rifle, I assume.
Someone wants to find out that. Well, I
It's
think
a-
I
Go,
understand.
go.
I think it's like a Nisa RPG series, Artanelico.
Artanelico, that's it. Okay, you said it way better. I don't know any idea what that's. I don't think anybody here does.
I'm familiar with Artanelico.
Well, besides Vinny, yeah.
Not that I've ever spent much time
It's
with it.
JRPG.
I'm sure she's going to let us know in a second
PS3.
and fill in our ignorance.
It's a role-playing game produced by Gust, published by Namco. It's a JRPG for the PS3, and it's a third and final installment.
So is this a game or a weapon?
No, it's a weapon, but it's from the game. I guess
Oh,
it's a game weapon. Kind
It's
of.
like the game is based on the weapon. Like the game is
Yeah.
named after the
Yeah,
weapon.
that makes sense. Now, what does the
Maybe.
weapon do?
I'm looking at it right now.
I have no
Um,
idea.
Laser tower
okay,
spell attack, she says.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, something to do with 3 towers. Probably does a laser. Yeah.
Probably
that
has
makes
a laser. Alrighty then. All right, let's start onto our. Sorry.
This game sounds fucked up. During the game, Aado, the protagonist, can dive into the cosmospheres of certain revelatellis to craft song magic, which is done by witnessing their internal turmoils and traumas and helping them develop a solution for them. Various persona exist within the cosmosphere, and the player can choose to have the Revetile fight in their clothing because the persona have these costumes use different magic. Oh, okay. So I really...
Sorry, I just had a nightmare. Someone was talking about Arch and Elico for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that Eric is the only person who understands what's going on. I'm sorry.
You said it, Eric, but would you actually play Arch and Elico? You've seen the graphics and what's going on.
No, it looks miserable. It looks awful. I'm sorry, Picoon, but
There are one fan. I'm sorry, fan number only.
no, I don't know. I mean, the screenshots don't look too promising, but it could be good. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm trying to read the Wikipedia article and I'm just failing.
Well, that's what
so did Eric.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our number 3s then. We're going to start off once again, of course, with Sarah there. So if you want to throw that at us.
Okay, number 3 is Karibo or Goomba's shoe from Super Mario Bros. 3. So if you remember, I think it's in World 5. You can boot the guy out of his boot and then jump around on all the piranha plants, and you're just like super
And
OP.
jump a boot?
Yes, very Canadian. But yeah, no, it's like way OP, and I don't know. It's like one of the rarest power-ups in Mario games, so like I think that's really cool. And actually, I mentioned that I was playing Super Mario 3D World on my Wii U, and they kind of did a new version of that where it's a boot with a skate. And I thought that was really cool because it made me think of this one. So that's my number 3.
That
So
is
I'm
a
still
sweet
trying-
one. I remember that one. I think it is only in World 5, but I think it's in 2 different levels
Yeah.
in World 5, and you can use them to jump across like the little black like piranha
The
plant.
zombie
dudes.
things, yeah.
Yeah. The piranha guys. and
Sorry,
you can-
which game was this again?
Super Mario Brothers 3 for NES.
Yep.
I honestly don't. Was that the
It's
one where
that
you could
free
get
boot.
the?
Tanuki suit one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is that the one where you could get the whistles and skip levels?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And you
never
probably
played
skipped
half
roll
the
five.
game.
They're warp flutes, okay?
Yeah, because I when I was a kid, my stepdad printed off a bunch of cheats for a bunch of different games, and Super Mario 3 was one of them where it told you at this level use the whistle here, use it here, and I could beat the game within like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Oh,
you could
yeah,
thank
totally.
That's really easy.
You could thank the wizard for that.
Yeah. The power glove, man. The power glove.
Playing with the Power Club.
California. I think Sarah and Eric are the only ones who get that then.
Good movie.
No, he's probably the wizard, I think.
I was in the wizard. I
Manny.
was in the background.
It might be. You'd just be hating on everything, though.
No, not at all. I don't hate on Nintendo. I just don't care.
How is that even different?
It's 100% different.
It
Hate
is
is an emotion that you direct towards something, and indifference is something you don't care about.
Indifferent is like worse than hate, though, because you don't even put any energy into it. Like hate, you put energy into hating something.
I love you, but I disagree with you on that one, Sarah.
Rather.
Thank you, bro.
All right,
Fist,
Jack.
okay, bro.
Give us give us a weapon we're gonna agree with then for your number 3 there.
I don't know. I can guarantee Eric will have my back on this one, but Final Fantasy VI's Atma weapon. So you get that in the Esper Cave. You get it early on in the game, and it's useless when you first get it. But as you level and your HP increases, the power of the weapon gets stronger. So then when you all of a sudden you're level 99, you equip the Atma weapon, you're doing 9,999 damage to every single enemy. It's sweet. And it looks like a giant lightsaber with this crazy like dragon hilt thing. It's super badass.
Yeah,
FF6 Atma weapon. And it's like it's appeared in a bunch of not the Atma weapon itself, but there's also the monster called the Atma weapon, and that appears throughout a lot of the Final Fantasy series, but it was its first installment. Super cool weapon. So I know at least Eric's will have my back on that one, and the rest of the people are like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
Yeah, when you said that, I don't know anything about the Final Fantasy saga at all.
What a shame.
At all. All right, Eric. Throw your number 3 at
I
us.
might as well use mine now, and my third was the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII.
Terrible.
No,
Um,
no, come on.
At least pick the Ultima weapon, which changes color based on how much health you have.
No, okay, but in his defense, with the Buster Sword, when Crisis Core came out, it actually gave it a background.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't have. It was just his basic weapon in Final Fantasy VII. They're like, wow, people really liked it. Let's actually give it a story. And but it actually has a cool story. It has a cool background to it. I dig it. I was gonna put that on my list, but I'm like, you know what? It's a little bit cliche, and I kind of figured like somebody else would have it on there too. It's like a given, right? It's the Buster Sword. Like,
well, I was going to go with either the Gunblade or the Buster Sword, but
if you went with the Gunblade, I was going to gut you.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. And then I was going to go with maybe a ruby weapon or something like that.
I was thinking that, yeah, like if we're talking about weapons, I was thinking about that.
Well, the planet's weapons, they're pretty good.
But no, I mean the Buster Sword was like the first game for me where it was like, it was the first real RPG that I like got so addicted to the story. Even playing the other Final Fantasies up to that point, though, that was the first one where it's like really, really captivating, and that sword was just so, it would just look badass. I mean, like
it's
iconic. I remember making a Buster Sword like that year for Halloween. That's how big of an impact it had on me. So I know everybody else might not agree, but that's my pick for.
I got your back, man. I got your back, Buster Sword.
All right. Charles, that leaves you for your number 3 then.
Well, since we're all doing swords, I'll do Transistor. Transistor from the video game recently released called Transistor. How convenient. Is a weapon that is designed to incorporate absorb people's life force and use their life force in whatever way that their character's like personified for or whatever. So each individual character in the game that you run into or whatever like lore thing happens is added to your weapon, and these functions you can choose between customize your weapon, customize how you can actually use this thing against whatever you're fighting. So it builds into whatever you need it to do, but the most interesting part of this game is trying to use the whole turn-based strategy thing, where it has turn-based strategy incorporated into real-time actual like hack and slash. So it's pretty neat. I like it.
Pretty neat.
It talks
I haven't
to
played
you.
it yet.
It talks to you. It gives you exposition. Something, spoilers. Can't go into details.
Something dark side. Something, the Force. Yes.
Yeah, we got a talkative cat in the background there.
I'll go feed him.
My cat is actually hearing your cat and going mental over here.
I don't know if anyone caught it, but Eric shooed his cat away at the very beginning of the podcast. I don't know if that actually made it into live or not.
Yeah, I threw a
actually shoot him, like not shoot him.
Yeah, no, I
threw a shoe
hit
at
him
him.
with a shoe.
Literally shoot him. That's awesome. All right, then I guess that moves us over to Manny for our third on your list.
Okie dokie. Okie
Okay.
dokie. Ben
Smoke
Kenobi moving over to the list. Let's see what we got. Okay, number 3 is, since keeping with the energy weapon theme, is the Spartan laser from the Halo series.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's everyone doesn't like that weapon because it takes so long to charge up. Am I right?
No,
Yeah.
I just don't like it because it's Halo.
Whatever. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I just wasn't fun to use.
I think the bigger thing is that moment when you do have to use it, maybe during the campaigns in particular, or when you charge it up and you do get that hit that you're not supposed to get, and you get the little badge, and you get the achievement, like, I totally blew that guy up on his Warthog with the laser weapon. What a dumbass! I can't believe it.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess the payoff is huge, but it takes a
Oh
while
yeah,
to
yeah.
get there.
It's true. Like most of the time, it's not that fun to use because it takes so long to charge up. But like those few moments in the campaign when you charge up and you hit like maybe a scarab in the main campaign, or you hit the tank and the tank blows up, and it's like that's just what you needed. You get like maybe 3 shots in multiplayer, and if you can be that guy who pulls up that jeep full of people, and he goes oh, and everyone goes oh, he did it, congratulations! Like yeah, I did do it.
I did do it. Yeah,
So
fair
I
enough.
think that's the main reason why I picked it. Not so much. It was. I probably should have. Yeah, it's a good middling laser weapon. It's iconic. Everyone who's ever played a Halo game has experienced it at some point.
That's true.
It's one of those things that sort of stays there throughout the franchise, and it's probably more fun during the campaign. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. And again, as you said, payoff is good for it. So I can see.
it's one of those things where I pick it up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use this really quickly, and then just throw it away and just move on with my day.
That's right. On a scale of like, hate to love, I'm like slightly 1 point into the love side. So
See, that's why it's a good number 3.
exactly.
Pretty neutral.
You nailed it. All right. And then to my number 3. Let's go see what I wrote down here. My number 3 is the Deagle from Counter-Strike 1.6. It used to be good in global offensive until they completely nerfed the crap out of it, and now it never shoots in the same spot more than once. So that's frustrating. But in 1.6. I remember, again, I wasn't the super greatest at it, but my buddy, he was a sponsored Counter-Strike player, by McDonald's and all that, and he that was his he was pro. He would just headshot through walls everywhere, and it was such a powerful, amazing weapon, and it's again iconic. I think when it comes to along with a knife in Counter-Strike, it's just when you see that Deagle, that's Counter-Strike. That's one of the weapons that go with Counter-Strike is the knife and the Deagle. And I guess the AWP as well too. That would be the next one, kind of runner-up with the Deagle as the AWP, the AWP, the sniper. But yeah, Deagle.
I agree with that. It's an iconic Counter-Strike weapon, and yeah, it deserves a place in the list for sure.
Yeah, at least one of the lists. Piken at the side has her number 3. Lambda's 11 Blades. I also don't know what that is.
All right, here we go. Google machine.
Here comes Google.
Like, she's pulling out all the crazy
You
ones.
make us look like idiots.
You know, right?
That's what she did. She was like, "Okay, what are things that they're not gonna know?" Just mess with their
What
heads.
is it?
Blast Blue.
Revenge of the Nerds. Lambda.
Well,
Why can't I find this?
BlazBlue.
Lambda's 11 Blades.
DOS boot. Okay, they look pretty badass. They look like Vega's hands from like Street Fighter. Remember Vega?
BlazBlue, yeah.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue, guys. Come on. Blaze Blue.
BlazBlue.
BlazBlue. BlazBlue.
All that'll say.
Hey, there's no E on there. That is not a hard
No,
A.
there's definitely an E on that. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's for the U though.
Blaze Blue.
There's no E for the A.
There's no E for the A. It's true. How's it pronounced? Google. Go.
Black Blue.
I'm saying BlazBlue just because of it. Yeah.
Shoots her blade wings at her opponent. Okay. Has wings made of blades.
Oh, it's a 2D. Okay, it's just like Street Fighter and like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, Street Fighter,
stuff.
Marvel vs. Capcom, Persona Arena, King of Fighters, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, I see exactly what she's talking about. Yeah, those actually do look pretty badass. Very, very anime though.
Yeah. Can she fly with them? Because that'd be sick too.
I'm assuming, and that's also kind of something that's like reoccurring in like that sort of anime kind of fighting style stuff. Like you see that a lot.
They have dude. Let me tell you something. Like on the retrocade that I have in my bedroom here, it has all the ROMs from Japan, and there are so many games that were released in Japan that we didn't see over here in terms of like that 2D fighter, that like that fighter bases. Just wacky shit, dude. Like, and some of them are actually pretty fun, but a lot of they're very Like, it seems like it was really beat to death over there. Like they were. I mean, I swear to God, I must have like maybe 1,500 different games that are modeled after that. Just in the Japanese section of the Retrocade.
That's unreal.
It's nuts. It's wild, and I can't understand any of them because they're all in Japanese. Or I tell you some of them.
See, you don't know how to play.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. That gives us to Sarah's number 2 spot. We're getting up there. You're muted.
You're muted.
So my second pick. Oh, muting up.
No, you're muted again.
No, there. Okay.
Sorry, I'm like experiencing extreme lag, like mad lag. I'm really sorry.
We can hear you now.
That's good. The lag is on my side. Number 2 for me is from the Soul Calibur series. It's Tira's like hula hoop blade. It's called my blade. So it's really cool. She like has a fighting style where she kind of like almost dances, and she can throw it. She can use it like a hula hoop, and inflicts mad damage. It's really cool.
I was expecting something from Soul Calibur, because again it's a weapon-based fighting game, right? So I expected something from there. I can't remember his name, but the big guy with the like the giant sword.
Siegfried?
I think that's it. Yeah, Siegfried.
Siegfried, like the paladin-looking guy.
Yeah.
Big-ass metal sword. He's the one who gets the Soul Calibur in the, I think it's 2?
Yeah.
No, I think it's number 1, actually.
His giant swords are always my favorite, because you just swing them and it's massive damage. Massive damage. But yeah, that hula hoop's kind of unique because it's a hula hoop weapon. You just kind of thrust your hips at someone to attack them.
What better way to kill a man? Like, let's be honest.
Isn't that how every man dies? Some woman.
Yeah.
So that's why I went for it. It's really unique, and so it stands out for me in my mind. Number 2.
Fair enough. Zach.
All right, number 2 for me was I'm doing a last-minute decision, so it's going to get an honorable mention. I was going to do the Mega Buster, but since we already talked about Mega Man, I'm going to do something different from the franchise, and I'm actually going to go with the Z Saber from introduced in Mega Man X3. But in Mega Man X4, when you could play through as Zero, and you had to get up close and personal with the Z Saber, completely changed the way that the Mega Man games was. And it was just you could play it as Mega Man or as Zero, so you could sit back with your blaster, or you can run up with your sword. And it was I had a blast doing it, and kind of the way you actually use it to do your special attacks is almost Street Fighter-esque, where you actually had to do like combos and stuff to be able to do your attacks. It wasn't just like hitting L or R and switching to a different weapon. So yeah, Z Saber for me, that was definitely in there.
What's a Z Saber?
It's
don't you mean Z Saber?
Oh, whatever. It's it's like you got to call it what it is, right?
I know. Yeah.
It's like it's a Z Saber. That's what it's called. It was ordered over Japan first, and what else is Z Saber? Z Saber sounds weird. I don't know. It's like if I was spelling my name out, like Z-A-C-H sounds really weird. It's Z-A-C-H, but Z Saber compared to Z Saber.
No, I understand. I was just
we don't need more letters.
Canadians.
Yeah, but yeah, no, the Z Saber is super cool. Wicked weapon. But on the topic though of the Mega Buster, and a little bit of video game news, did anybody see that ThinkGeek's actually putting out the Mega Buster replica on ThinkGeek? You can get an actual like life-size Mega Buster, so super cool.
I can guarantee you're going to be picking one of those.
Yeah.
No, please don't buy it. We don't need one in our house.
No, it's good. Well, it's gonna match. It's gonna go with this guy, so we got to collect some of the weapons.
Oh, is that the Master Sword?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. It was $20. It's made of foam. I actually got it at Medieval Times of all places.
Oh, Sarah,
I
Sarah.
want that.
It's the thing on ThinkGeek, the Mega Buster. It lights up and everything. He has to get
with sounds.
Oh goodness.
Game over. You lose. All right, Eric. Throw us your number 2 spot.
This is tough because I was actually kind of just going through a couple honorable mentions, and I don't know. I was gonna. Well, you just mentioned Zelda, so I had jotted down here. I was gonna go with the boomerang from Zelda, but I think I'm gonna change it to the home run bat from Smash Bros.
Nice.
All right.
Um,
That one
I mean,
hit.
what?
That one hitter.
Yeah, that's exactly the glory in that weapon. Obviously, Smash Bros has quite a big arsenal of different stuff that you can use, and I think that's one of the most. It probably is the most enjoyable part of the game. Is that you're not just beating the crap out of each other with your hands and your fists. It's pretty
It's
much
funny that you say that though, because in as these other guys know too, in competitive all items are banned out. They don't want items.
Really.
So it's completely opposite from what the game is originally intended as.
Huh. That's weird.
Yep. But
I would probably. Yeah, I probably wouldn't enjoy that at all.
home run bat. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't usually use it. I like the bunny ears, to be honest, because you can just hop around everywhere and no one can catch you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That just seems. I hated the flower that would hit that would give you like the little pew of little pew pew pew, of like the of the stardust. I thought that one was kind of. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I mean, it's just enjoyable, and home run bat was obviously one of the most powerful ones. So
it was the pinnacle of items. That was the top item for sure.
It was.
Sweet, fair enough.
So that's my number.
Cool. Charles, number 2.
Ready for another weapon that's not a weapon?
All right. What next? Sorry, Charles' list of best tools.
Smartphone. From Watch
No, it's not. No, maybe.
Best tools. This guy right here.
Hey, self-depreciation.
Yeah, the dual portal gun from Portal.
Yeah, I was
If you
gonna
can
put that
use
on my
it like
list.
a weapon, it's a weapon.
I was gonna put that on my list until I realized it was not a weapon.
You could totally use it as a weapon.
There's
If
no
you can
enemies
use
to
it as a
fight.
weapon, it's a weapon.
Yeah,
You
but
can use it to drop people from great heights to their deaths. You can use it to drop items, like redirect projectiles into things to cause them to explode. It's a weapon. If you use it correctly, it's a weapon. Anything used as a weapon is a weapon.
yeah, but you said Portal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not really fighting anything. That your enemy is a lot different. It's you don't have to physically fight anything. So therefore, it's not a weapon.
Yeah, no. If you use it like a weapon, it's a weapon.
Yeah, but you don't have to use it as a weapon in that game.
He means
I
like
don't know,
take it
man.
outside of the game.
I was
Yeah,
about
take it
to
outside
say
of the
we
game.
gave him a free pass with the grappling hook, but now we're upset about that.
I'm
Yeah.
also upset because I was gonna put it on my list and then I fought myself over it, and
You
so
guys
now
can
I have
share
to
it together. You can share this one.
No, I'm defending my absence of it being on my list.
I still urge and say
Brody,
that
you can pick the gravity gun.
It's a weapon.
Gravity.
You can pick the gravity gun and call it a day.
All right.
Everyone gets a physics-based weapon.
All right. So Portal Gun then. Cool. Manny then, number 2 of your light-based weapons.
Light-based?
Or energy-based, weapons.
My favorite weapon, strobe light. All right. So next up is from Skies of Arcadia. About halfway through the game, you get a brand new. If you're not familiar with Skies of Arcadia, this is the Skyship game that was on the Sega Dreamcast, later ported to the GameCube, made by Sega.
Who are those?
Wonderful game.
Yeah, awesome game. One of Reiko Kodama's best work.
Yes.
Anyway, so you get this weapon, this big ship by the end. It was like this Valua prototype battleship called the Delphinus, and on board this ship is like the most powerful weapon in the game. It's called the Moonstone Cannon, and when it's about to fire, you see like the front of the ship sort of drops away, and this cannon sort of emerges from the base, and you
Okay.
just fire this powerful beam weapon that just sort of destroys, demolishes anything. It's like the only chance you have of beating like some of the bigger weapons in the game, like the Gigas. You played this, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good game. It was always fun too, because the main character who almost never would speak, he'd go, "Moonstone cannon, fire!"
I thought it was badass, like the little, like the segment. You know, it was almost like a, like in Final Fantasies when you like called like one of the Aeons down or whatever. You know how like the cannon would kind of like come out, like it like opened up, right, like the front of the ship almost.
Drop down, and this thing would just sort of like telescope out.
Yeah, it was like a little cinematic. You know, it was like one of those little cinematics and everything. It was just cool. Yeah.
And it was like this really powerful beam weapon, and it looked like the ship was gonna break apart because it's shaking as it's firing. And, like you just see this black, just sort of just massive thing go right through whatever you're like. If you fight if you get into later ship battles and you just fight like some of the wandering ships, it does like 5,000, like 50,000 damage, and this thing had like 10,000 life. So it's just like this super overpowered weapon that was always fun to use. And you always like, and it
I was gonna say I'm looking at a picture and it looks like one of those moments in a game that you're just like, whoa, 'cause just the
It was
way
fun.
it drops
Like the
down there.
first time using it, yeah, you're like, holy shit! Like, you know, you don't like know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, like for a long time in that game, you were like the victim of these bigger when you first start fighting Gigas, you don't have any weapons that really can handle them, so like this big deal to try to take them down, or you're fighting these bigger battleships that are just wrecking you. You're like, okay, maybe I'll install better battleship guns, maybe I'll install better torpedoes. Okay, I'm doing slightly better, but
Right.
then when you get this, you're not scared of anything. You go where you want to go, and you take care of it.
Yeah. Right.
So
Yeah,
good old classic.
it looks pretty intense. All right. I guess that throws it over to mine. So let's find my list and see what I put on there. All right. This one. Is when I started thinking about things that could be, different than just like a gun and stuff like that. That's why I thought of this one. But the star from Mario, any of the Mario games. I guess it turns you into a weapon, basically. Invincibility. Anything you touch is just death, and it dies. You are become death.
Mm-hmm.
So the star in any game really, Mario Kart, anything, it lets you not even just a power up running through grass and stuff or whatever, but it's anything you touch is dead. So I figured I think that's the best weapon as well in any of the Mario Kart games too. Out of any of the items you can get, star is just OP. You speed up, you can go over anything, you take anybody out. And it's just the music is super fun too that comes along with it. Yeah, it's so the star definitely hits my number 2 slot. It was close to hitting my number 1 slot too, just because of how iconic it is as well with any Mario games. The star. Can anybody disagree that the star is the best weapon in any Mario Kart game, at least?
Well, I mean, if you're saying that the star is a weapon, like, what, do you throw the star? Do you? Come on,
No,
Brody.
now you're just.
How do you use the weapon,
You're
Brody?
digging. I already told you.
All
It's
right, easy
become a weapon.
grappling hook, easy grappling hook.
Yeah, you're digging. You're digging.
Brody, your weapon is the equivalent of PCP.
No, the thing is, you take out enemies. You kill enemies when you touch them.
Yeah. You put some PSP. Take some. There you go, Eric. I got you a little clip.
All right. That's mine. We'll get to Paikin's. Her number 2 is another one I don't know. The Narkaguga great sword.
I looked it up. It's a great sword from Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate.
Okay.
Yeah,
See,
so it looks pretty badass actually. It's like, I don't know, like when I was looking at images of it, it looks like this feathered greatsword thing. It actually looks super cool. So I'll give credit where credit is due. I've never played the game, but it looks badass as a weapon.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that actually play Monster Hunter, but I've never actually gotten into it myself. It seems like something that's fun to play with, or like with other people. Isn't there one that's multiplayer? Or are they all?
Monster Hunter 3, I know for sure is multiplayer.
Okay, because
I'm going to go ahead and assume that Monster Hunters before 3 were also multiplayer, but
because my friends always seem to play together, whether it's just in the same room or not. But it's just when I'm playing games, I'm usually just by myself in my room, right? So I never got into it. All right, so that leaves us down to our number one spots. So I don't know if we need to get energized. We need to do some push-ups, some jumping jacks to get this blood flowing, to get us hyped up for our number one slots. So
Nah, man, I'm real excited already.
I'm gonna do my exercises here. All right. Our number one slot. Sarah's gonna start us off with her top favorite game weapon of all time, and it is.
Drumroll. I'm going to ruin it because someone made a comment about a gun blade. Well, my number one pick is a bow sword. So it's from Final Fantasy 13-2, the character Sarah, who I obviously have fond memory of. She's cool. But, okay, so in the game, her Moogle companion, Mog, actually turns into her weapon. And depending whether she's being like a ranged type of attacker or a melee attacker, her thing changes from sword to bow. So I love the transformation of it. There's a bunch of different ones, so they all look different. I don't know. I like Final Fantasy. I like Sarah, and it transforms, and it's Moogle.
Okay. I'll give you that. Normally the gunblade is stupid because it's based on technology and it was designed and engineered. Moogle is magic. Can't fuck with magic.
Yeah, Kupo.
Can't fuck with a Moogle.
Don't fuck with no Moogles. All right, I've always wondered what the Moogles did. I see them everywhere, but I have no idea.
They do
like
anything and everything you
It's a
want.
Moogle, Kupo.
Yeah, they're like these mythical creatures. They're kind of like, I don't know, like take the Legend of Zelda, that series, take the fairies, and instead of fairies, there's Moogles in a sense, but they're more intelligent. They're more, I don't know, they're more lifelike. There's these like little furry dudes with wings, and I mean, there's a playable Moogle character in FF6. You can get Mog, and he's a playable character. I don't know. They're different in every game. The most recent installments of them, they've been like these delivery dudes and synthesizers. So in like the Final Fantasy series, you can take different components and turn them into crazy weapons. And the Moogles have always been the ones to handle that. They also do that in the Kingdom Hearts series and stuff too. So they're all over the place. Like they're like pretty much when you think of Final Fantasy in terms of like mascots, it's like Chocobos and Moogles. Like that's it.
Okay. That means Eric. Oh no, Zach. Zach is next. I almost skipped him. Sorry, I almost missed your number one spot. Your best video game of all freaking time.
This one's really hard because I was convicted with one for a while and now I'm thinking of another one. So, no, I'll go with my first choice. Okay, so I'm gonna go with the Mass Mune. Now everybody's thinking Final Fantasy VII Mass Mune. No, Chrono Trigger from Chrono Trigger for the NES. SNES. Mass Mune that you get for Frog, and the whole story arc that comes with it. If anybody hasn't played Chrono Trigger, A, you should, and B, it's a game, obviously. It's about time, and you travel through time.
It's about time.
Yeah, and it's like you see, like you just see the whole evolution of the sword. It's got personality to it because it's these two beings that kind of their spirit goes into the sword. I don't know. Super. Anybody who's played the game is probably like, yeah, he's right. Because
I totally agree.
The story arc that comes with it is just absolutely fantastic, and that whole game is one of my favorite games of all times. And that sword in it, yeah, number one, Mass Mune.
Sweet. I know nothing about it, so I can't say anything.
Do it. Get it for DS. It's super cheap. It's well worth a playthrough.
Yeah, you're not gonna find it for SNES cheap.
No.
All right, I need more DS games, anyways. All right, Eric.
What were you saying though? What's it called?
The Mass Mune.
Oh, the Mass Mune. Yeah.
Mass Mune.
Massa Mune.
MASAMUNE.
All right, I'm pretty
It's
sure.
in
No.
like Japanese mythology, it's like the swordsmith. His name was Mass Mune. There was Mass Mune and Muramasa, and so they use it in a bunch of different different JRPGs, and in Final Fantasy VII,
No, I
it's
don't need
most
that.
known
I was
for-
just trying to figure out what you were saying is all. I never heard it pronounced like that.
Said it wrong. Cool. All right, Eric. Hey, Eric, you want to give us your favorite video game weapon of all
listen.
time?
Hey, listen. I did hear Navi before somewhere. I don't know if I'm losing my mind, but does somebody?
I think that's probably what's happening.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I wasn't going nuts. Number one. Geez, I don't really know what to pick. All right. So I got to give an honorable shout out to the spread gun from Contra.
Oh, I was gonna go flamethrower for Contra.
Yeah. Pretty badass weapon, but that's not my number one. My number one weapon is the Pokeball from Pokemon.
Pokeball.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Alright.
no, that is
How is
not
that a weapon? That's still not
That
a
is
weapon.
not a weapon.
Totally a weapon, and here's why. Because you throw it at a monster, it pretty much captures them, and then brainwashes them into pretty much becoming your slave to fight for you.
I'm with.
So-
I mean, if we can call the Evoker a weapon, we can call the Pokeball.
I was gonna say the same thing. We let mine slide with the Evoker. I agree. It's a method to do damage. The end result is damage.
Yeah,
Right.
because the Evoker doesn't do any damage whatsoever. All it's doing is calling forth a persona, which can either heal, it can do damage, it can, like, if you look at what's her name, who's your sort of tech support off site, she uses hers just to keep track of you in the dungeon. So
That's okay. Fair enough.
I give the Pokeball a big thumbs up.
Okay.
Pokeball. That's interesting. I didn't see that coming, to be honest.
Yeah, I wanted to, throw a little curveball at you.
All right. Charles, can you curveball us as well, or what do you got as your number one slot?
No, I'm just gonna keep going with things that people are gonna confuse for tools. The rig from Wild 9. I don't know if any of you have played that game.
No,
Okay,
never-
the concept of the rig is it's a tether. It's used for movement. You can swing off a point, but what you can use the rig for as offensively is grabbing an enemy. You grab an enemy with your rig, and you can slam them into other enemies. You can slam them into the ground, throw them, do whatever you want with them. But that's your primary weapon for the game is this rig, which also has other uses. It's used for for puzzle solving and everything, and it's just your primary thing. And I thought it was just so satisfying to just grab somebody and just slam them into the ground over and over again. That's how you defeat your enemies.
Just
Like throw them into walls, throw them into each other, throw them off of cliffs. Just so satisfying having that much control over your enemies.
Fair enough. I can see that one. I won't disagree with that one. I'll give it to you. All right, Manny, do you want to end off your list with your number one energy weapon of all time?
I'm not gonna do all time. This was just something that I came up with while I was still lying in bed. I was coming over here.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
definitely not my all-time of anything list. And even as I was going through it, just talking with you people made me
It's tough. Yeah, you start to
and
realize.
no, it just made me realize that like stuff I thought was higher or I cared about more, I cared about less. Like after discussing the Hammer Dawn with you guys, I'm like, you know what? Actually, I care about that a lot less than I care about Spartan Laser. And then I thought about the Spartan Laser, and like, yeah, I care a lot about that a lot less than the KOTOR lightsabers. So
Yeah, no,
so I
it's,
rearranged just my. I still stand by the 5 that I have, but I would put them in a different order.
I
so
hear
my
you.
number, so my number one, just because when I think of fun weapons, especially fun energy weapons, one of the ones that stands out to me is in Front Mission 3, about near the end of the game. If you remember, there's this fake internet system in Front Mission 3, and you could, after going on several bulletin boards, you can find a secret infernal dialer that you can talk to some people, and they hook you up with like the most powerful Vanzer in the game. And that Vanzer, well, I'm not picking the Vanzer, I'm picking the gun that comes with it. So what comes with it is this heavy particle beam gun, this beam weapon that only this Vanzer can pick up and hold because it's so heavy and it's so big. But it's this big, powerful thing that has like sort of unlimited range on the. I guess I should have provided pictures. So Front Mission 3 is a strategy RPG, so grid-based.
Solid game.
And so it can be all the way on the other side of the map, and this thing can just shoot right across it. And not only that, it's super overpowered and powerful. I remember walking into like some of the scenarios or scenarios even the simulator, and I just shoot my beam weapon, and you just see this big bright blue thing go, and it would shoot across, and then you would see the other Vanzer, and it would have like, it would have be completely brand new condition, but as the beam was coming over it, it was slowly doing damage and taking away HP. So eventually, like one arm would blow off, and then the other arm would blow off, and then once the beam would dissipate, it would go and become this sort of narrow little beam of light. You would see these little balls of particles sort of falling down, and then the thing would just fall over and then go and explode. It was really overpowered, but it was a lot of fun. It was just one of those game changer weapons where you're just like, okay, here I'm making sure to put my Hoshun up near the front or anywhere. It doesn't matter as long as you have a clear line of sight. It's the only beam weapon in that game that you can actually use yourself, and it was a lot of fun. And I just think back at just ripping off people's arms using that weapon. It was great.
Yeah, you've mentioned a few things. Front missions, I know, has made it mentioned from you a few times. Now I've been wanting to play it because you keep saying
it's
cool
on the
things
PS1. It's a PS1 classic. Front Mission 3. Go for it.
It's a solid game. It's definitely worth a playthrough for sure.
Sweet. I'll have to take a look at it. It's on. You said it's on the PSN.
Yeah, PS1 classic.
Okay, beautiful.
Play it on your Vita.
Yeah, I also have a PS1, so I could probably.
Remember though, this is still a PlayStation 1 game, so the graphics are dated. And even then, at the time, it wasn't known as the prettiest from Square game.
I'm not picking up a PS1 game expecting beautiful graphics compared to some of the stuff.
It was a fun game. I think a lot of it still holds up. It's fun surfing around the fake internet bulletin boards. I like the music. It's two games in one. You know, there's an early choice that you make early on, and you can go this completely different storyline or a completely different storyline.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've discussed it a lot of times. Yeah. But
yeah.
If you play this one, play with a guide because there's a lot of stuff you could miss, and it would suck if you played through this whole game and you didn't get this Super Vanzer.
Okay.
Super Vanzer.
Go back to the days of guides. I haven't used one of those in forever.
That's actually what I was looking for before we started. I swear I had it around here, but I guess I don't.
All right. I guess we'll hit my number one spot. I guess as Manny said, I kind of rearranged things after I started to say them too. It's just like, yeah, maybe this one's better than this, and there's actually some I missed that I should have added to the list too. So I got some runners up as well. So I'll just name off some of the runners up that I got here. We have Ezio's dual blades, the wrist ones, or not Ezio. Yeah, when they add in the dual ones, or just the wrist blade. It's sweet. It's hidden. Come out, attack your enemies. It's a pretty sweet weapon. The BFG from Doom. That's always a sweet weapon. I remember as a kid I used it more as light because I was scared of that game. So I would put infinite ammo on for the BFG. I would get into that console and just shoot it as light, so that I could actually see where I was going. And I discovered no clip, so I didn't even need the weapon. But and after that, just because I've been playing Dead Space recently for our game club that we're gonna have after this, the Ripper has to be. It's a super freaking awesome. I can hunker down in a corner, shoot out in front of me, and just swing it back and forth and take out enemies. And it's such a kind of a unique take on a gun, right? You know, it floats out in front of you. But my number one spot that I got today, again, it's changed. I just like the uniqueness of this weapon, but it's the splitter from Resistance 2, I think it was, or 1. 1. And the splitter, basically, if you guys haven't played it or don't know what it is, it kind of made me rethink what a gun is, just because that whole game had unique weapons. But the splitter shot out this wall of cells, and they're kind of like hexagon cells. And then you use your alt fire button, so you held them out in front of you, kind of just like a wall. You could move around like a shield. And then what you could do is you could spread the cells out this way, and you could spread them out up. So you could actually make the wall bigger and bigger. You could choose the size, and then when you released it, it would just shoot this wall of blocks out at your enemies. So it could be either just be a small block that you shot straight ahead at someone with more power, or as you spread the cells out, each one had its own amount of power. So if only one cell hit an enemy, it would do less damage than the whole block as a whole. But you could just choose this wall would block and would fire. It would also cover more distance. So if you had a bunch of enemies coming at you, you could hit all of them with slightly less damage, but you could damage everyone. I thought it was just a unique way to look at a weapon back then. That was one of the first games out on the next gen of systems when it came to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and it was such a cool way to think of a gun. So that one's always been fun. All those weapons too, the auger, you had the far eye. They're all super sweet, unique weapons. But I'd say that's why that made it onto my list there. And Pycon, she says at the side, her number one is the Unlimited Blade Works. Once again, I don't know what that's from.
I've been trying to read like Google, and I can't even get through it. I don't know.
Where is Pete Coon from? Is there a way to like ask her a question? Like,
I can
tell
ask
us where
her if you want.
Yeah, tell her ask her where she's from. That way we know like
She's
what we're
Canada.
She's from
doing.
here.
Canadian.
Yep.
Well, booyah.
How do you pronounce Pete Coon?
Pycon.
Pycoon? Damn, she knows about all these games that I've never even heard of before.
You feel challenged?
It's kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing.
No, I am. I'm embarrassed for myself because I don't.
Embarrassed. Feeling challenged. You have to talk to her and find a boy. She's gonna have a whole list of games you probably never played before that you'll be interested in. Yeah, that's her. So that ends our list of our top favorite weapons. I think there's some pretty good ones on there. That we had some good ones, and it started to make me think of more. That I hadn't thought of before, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of sweet, unique weapons out there in games, and I'm sure we're gonna keep thinking of more after this as well too. But there's a lot of cool weapons. So if you're watching this after and not live, make sure you leave a comment under the YouTube video of what your favorite weapons in video games are. If there's any cool ones, unique ones that are classics, or ones that we have no freaking idea of, like Pycon has demonstrated for us today. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other runners-up that you thought of in the meantime that you want to mention.
I got a couple for sure. From Xenogears, Weltall. Again, more for the whole storyline. If anybody's never played Xenogears, JRPG, but you're in mechs, and Weltall is like kind of the catalyst for the entire story. So that was gonna be my number one. Really good game, really complex, really dark. And then the other one I was gonna say was the Excalibur from Final Fantasy Tactics. Once you get that weapon, the game's over. It's similar to the Front Mission 3 weapon. Like, it's just you decimate everything. You're unbeatable. That's it.
You're not unbeatable with the Front Mission 3 weapon. I think what it does is it gives you a more level playing field when you're fighting the imaginary numbers and their overpowered Vanzers. But it's definitely because you only have one. I never thought it was a cakewalk after that. What I thought was I had more of an advantage than I had before. I could be a little less cautious.
Oh, the Unlimited Blade Works looks like it's from Fate/Extra on the PSP by Type Moon.
Sweet.
Gotcha. Perfect. Any other runners up there?
I would say the Master Sword from Zelda. I mean, we kind of mentioned it, but didn't really talk
This
about
guy right here. This
there we are.
sweet little dude made out of foam.
Master Sword from Zelda.
I wanted to find more utility things.
I throw out I throw in the Flame Whip from Castlevania.
Yeah.
That was a pretty badass weapon.
And I just thought of probably the best weapon of all time. I think this will hands down be the best weapon of all time. Saints Row 3, Penetrator.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That is
true.
the big purple dildo on a stick.
But why not Saints Row 4 the Violator?
I guess fair enough.
They also have hot
What was
Either way,
the one that you made out of the it was like a dildo cannon. It just fired purple dildos out of it. Like it was a really good weapon. But
the immaturity levels are high.
I forget.
I can't remember. But Pycon says her honorable mention is the Sword of Rupture.
EA.
Once again don't know.
Google machine.
It's again from a game by Type Moon.
Okay.
Don't feel bad. These are
Like
honestly even for like a RPG focused site like RP Gamer. These are
Fate
obscure
Unlimited.
Japanese RPG, and like
Fate Unlimited codes.
this stuff is very specific. It's very specific. It's the kind of stuff that you know, if it's very specific. I'll just leave it at that. But anyway, I think because I picked energy weapons, I'm pretty cool with everything I had. I kept
What about the pulse rifle from what is it? Shadows of the Empire for N64. The purple one that you need to beat Boba Fett when he's in the.
I'm not going to discuss that terrible game.
Oh, come on!
It was garbage.
Manny doesn't even acknowledge that game exists.
It was so bad. But I was going to say, if I was going to add anything to it, I would just maybe add, because it's harder in a game like Fallout to pick like the one gun that's special. But I will say that the plasma weapons and the beam stuff was pretty cool. The laser guns were pretty, especially if you got a critical hit and you turned them into ash or a pile of goo. So.
Fair enough.
And Fallout. I said Fallout. Yeah, Fallout.
Yeah, fair enough. Fapway, I guess that'd be a good one.
Oh yeah, the
mini nuke
But I'm
launcher.
staying within theme. But yeah, the mini nuke.
Oh
launcher.
yeah, true. Fair enough. Again, I think we can go on forever for honorable mentions because there's, as we said, a lot of sweet ass weapons out there too. So we'll again leave them in the comments. I'm gonna probably throw some more in the comments underneath because I'm gonna keep thinking of some sweet ones as well too. I want to put them on there to have them there under the YouTube video.
I will say maybe it's a little sad that it's nothing but it's so easy to think of how many different crazy weapons were in games.
That's
all we do. Mess people up.
Yeah, that's. Well, hey, maybe we'll have our favorite shield weapon. Or our favorite shield.
No. How about not even shield? How about favorite games that don't involve like decapitating or blowing people up? Period.
Actually,
I'd be down for that.
Cool to not do a list, but for everybody to kind of come up with their favorite weapon that was the hardest to obtain in a game. I think that would be
right. All right, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. We'll discuss it, and then have it tweeted out for you guys to follow us, or know what our next episode is gonna be about. But on that note, our next episode is for Gamers Roundtable podcast is gonna be next week at 7 p.m. EDT. It's every Wednesday, 7 p.m. EDT. We also have our game club, which a couple of us here are in, and we're going to talk about that. We'll start up a new episode after this one, directly after, about 15-minute break. We'll talk about the last chapters of Dead Space 2 is the game we're on, and then we're going to be picking a new game after that. So you guys can follow along with us, or go back to the beginning. They're all on YouTube, so if you're just starting Dead Space, follow along with us and watch the videos. But thanks everyone for joining us. I think we'll go down the line and say goodbye to everyone unless they have any last comments for this episde here. But start at the other end, Charles, saying thanks for coming out once again.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Thanks for tolerating me.
your list. We tolerate your list. And next.
If you use it as a weapon, it's a weapon. It doesn't matter what it is. Like you could use like a piece of chalk as a weapon if you know how to do that.
That would still be a terrible
weapon. Pretty
weapon.
shitty weapon, but it's a weapon.
Fair enough. All right, you can follow Charles on Twitter at cstovetop and on his Twitch at twitch.tv/cstove if you want to watch it.
I was just informed that I've had my 3rd Twitterversary, and I have under 600 tweets, so I'm ashamed.
All right, so he's going to be tweeting a lot more.
So, usual promises about tweeting.
Yeah, I want to know, how'd you find about this?
How do I find that out? Oh,
yeah,
Twitter
I told
email.
you. Twitter email.
Twitter emailed me saying that happy 3 years on Twitter. Like, this is your 3rd year. Like, I'll dig up the email. Hold on a second.
Cool. I believe you.
I'll pop it up in a second.
No, I don't believe him. You prove it. Give me some documentation.
Right there.
All right. Happy Twitterversary. You just turned 3. Oh, it's so sparkly and everything.
Yeah. It's got a GIF with a firecracker in it. And it tells me to let everyone know that's my Twitterversary. And that I didn't.
Congratulations. You've wasted your life reading garbage.
And Manny, thanks for coming out.
Sure, bro.
And you can you can follow Manny and I guess read the garbage he reads about at MarinoEM on Twitter there. So make sure you follow him.
I only retweet garbage, so it's cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's all Twitter's about. And Eric doesn't have it at his bottom there, but you follow Eric at EricMiller3. So thanks for coming out, Eric.
Yeah, always fun.
I think he's putting it out there. He sounded enthusiastic about that one.
Don't shit about Twitter again, or I'll snap your neck. Sorry, it's my livelihood. I have to defend it.
Yeah. And Sarah, thank you for coming up for your second time there. It was awesome to have you, and I'm terribly sorry about stealing your news piece at the beginning. Next time, I swear I won't do that, and I'll give you all the news pieces you want.
Oh, no worries. Thank you for having me.
And you can follow Sarah at Yosarar. I think I did it right that time.
You did. That's impressive. But don't follow me on. I'll like tweet her cat pictures. It's boring.
That's what the internet loves. So it's perfect formula. All right, and next to Sarah, quite literally as well, we have Zachary. Thanks for coming out, Zach.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure as always. Hope to be around, and biggest tool right here. I should be on Charles's list.
There we go.
I'll put you on my list as an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Also,
Thanks again, guys.
I just realized that your icon is an Attack on Titan reference.
Yo, even look at. Wait, no, this side. This side.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
There we go. And you can follow Zach at on Twitter at Zachary Hart, right there underneath his name there, so you can't miss it there. And myself, once again, I've kept the count of introducing myself low this time, Charles. I'm LeafX. You can follow me at LeafX on Twitter there. You can follow me on anything at LeafX. That's my name everywhere, all over the internet. And make sure you subscribe to Gamers Roundtable, www.youtube.com/Gamers Roundtable Show. It's also on iTunes there. I'm going to try to keep it updated as best I can. So thanks for all our viewers and questions. Make sure you feel free to ask questions anytime that we're on here. And once again, thanks for watching, and thanks to everybody for coming out. We'll talk about video games next week. And as always, keep gaming hard.
Be my. Oh, final